So today I'm going to review this POR-15 Rust Preventative Treatment. So I got this off of Amazon. It's pretty cheap, under 50 bucks. And it's got a cleaner, a metal prep, and then a rust preventative coating. When you open the box, this is what's in it. And some gloves. And the reason for this is for my Pontiac G8. And this car originally lived in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And because of that, it has a little bit of surface rust right here on the subframe. And I didn't really notice it as bad, I guess just because I've owned the car now for about 8 years. But last time I had it up in there, I was doing some maintenance to it, greasing the bushings here in the suspension. And I noticed, you can see all the surface rust right here accumulating. And it's on both sides. You can see that. Now there's no structure problems here. It hasn't compromised anything. It's still thick metal. There's no compromise there, but surface rust wise, there's some issues. See there? I need to take my wire brush and I need to scrape this first, and then you put the prep on it. But clearly on the back, this is all much better shape back here, but it's just right here on the front. So what I'm gonna do is scrape this off with my wire brush, clean it off really good. Then I have this prep degreaser that they have. They have to apply it for about 15 minutes, but they say don't let it get dry, so you gotta keep applying it, keeping it wet. And then you have to rinse it very well, and then get all the material off. And then once it's clean and dried, then you put the prep solution on. Same thing, keep it wet for 10 to 15 minutes, and then you completely rinse it off and let it dry. And then once it's completely dry, then you can put your coating on. And they say put 2 real light coats on it. So 1 light coat, and right when it starts to dry and it's tacky, go ahead and put your second coat on, and then you'll be ready to go. They say don't put really heavy coats on it, and that's all you need to do. And then it will keep it nice and protected, and it'll stop the rust, which is the biggest thing. Instead of just spraying black paint on it, that doesn't really stop the rust, that just covers it up. I'm trying to stop the rust to prevent it from doing any more damage to the metal. Now the thing about this kit, this is what's used in all the hot rod restoration stuff. This is how I found it. So I figured if it's good enough for that, it's good enough for my Pontiac. So I'm about to go through the process of putting it on. Just wanted to show you what it looks like before I start, so you have an idea what I'm working with. All right, pop the top off, got my brush, get ready to go over here and start applying some of the POR-15 under the car. And as you can see here, I let it dry till the next day just because I thought it. So we'll dip this in here like that. And let's see what this looks like. There we go. Oh, it's definitely dripping though. Put my card under to catch it. And we're just gonna paint this on like that. Seems pretty straightforward. And they basically said some light coat, so I'm just gonna brush it all in, make it real light on there, like so. And then we're gonna let it dry till it gets tacky, and then we'll put a second coat on it. And they say it's self-leveling, so you shouldn't have to worry about brush marks, but that's what it's gonna look like. So it's kind of before and after. So I'll get busy and then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. All right. So what I've done is not only the subframe, but the lower arms here and the subframe there, all the way over. So this is actually the second coat. Did the first coat, waited about 45 minutes to an hour, and it was sticky, kind of tacky, and went ahead and did the second coat. Now I probably could have waited a little longer, let it dry just a little bit more, but followed the instructions. You know, they say sticky, but it's kind of tough with that bristle brush. Wanted to try to pull the fibers out. So you could probably get away with the little foam sock that they give you. But this is what it looks like. Lower arms, the subframe itself, you can see everything is gone now from the rust standpoint. Looks a lot better. While I was in here, I did the upper part of the arm as well. So, yep, looks good. And they tell you that if you try to reuse the product, it starts drying out, so you need to use all you can and throw the rest away. And then, like I say, the kit was cheap. I didn't even use half the can to do all this. So they give you a ton of material if you put it on real thin. So I went ahead and I did the front subframe as well, cleaned it up and applied an application to it. So that's what it looks like there. So now that's done. So overall, my review on this is not too bad. A little time consuming. But overall, as long as you do your prep work, it goes on really easy. It's really thin, so as you notice, I put it on kind of heavy, got my brush too wet, and it started dripping on the floor. It is sticky, so if you take some cleaning cloths, and what I've got here is just this tub of towels, heavy duty cleaning wipe. Make sure you wear gloves. It does get real sticky on your skin. Use that, it'll take it right off. And the sooner you get off the floor or whatever you get it onto, the easier it is. The longer it stays on, the harder it is to get off. But overall, not too difficult. A little bit of time, a little bit of scrubbing, and the results are definitely improved from what I started with to this. I'm gonna let this cure overnight before I move the car and get it down. And I'm sure this will look even better. Now again, it's still wet, so it's very, very shiny right now. But after I get it down, it dries and drive it, I'm sure it won't look as shiny as it is now. But the big thing is we cleaned and neutralized the rust, and then we coated it with this. So not only did we neutralize the rust, now we've actually coated the metal. So this should stop any further rust, and now we've protected the metal that's there, so we shouldn't have any more issues. So hopefully this was informative for you. POR-15, POR-15, pretty good stuff. I just want to make sure that taking care of cars like this, if you got a car from up north or a car from the beach, for example, like this car was from, keep an eye on it. If you start noticing more rust or more surface rust than you did before, it's probably time to do a treatment like this to it. So I hope this was helpful. Talk to you soon. All right, just want to do a final on the POR-15. So it's been about 7 hours now, I guess. And this is completely dry now. Good to go. turned out nice. Leveled itself out good. It's really shiny, but like I say, once I drive it, it's gonna probably not be as shiny, but it did take care of everything. It looks nice, covered up all the rust, neutralized everything. Just wanted to show you what it looks like on here. The arms turned out really nice. My fingers, I just got through wiping my hands off with a rag, so fingers probably got some oil on them, but look how good that looks. Just the lower arms look fantastic, and then up here, that thing was all rusty before, and see how it looks now. If I would have taken the time to like sand it and prep it and make it smooth, it'd look just like this, but you know what? That looks fantastic. Biggest thing was to neutralize the rust, and it did that and cover it up, so I'm pretty happy. Okay, that's it.